Are you thinking about selling your home? Well, then you're probably wondering when the best time is to do so. So that's what I'm going to be answering for you today in this frequently asked question video. So you probably understand that in any real estate market, prices are going to go up and they're going to go down, and there's 1,000 different variables that can affect that. Interest rates, unemployment, political changes that are going on, anything can change the value of a home in very little time. So if you're asking when's the best time to sell your home, there's a few things that you're going to want to understand. First of all, what are interest rates doing right now? If interest rates are on the rise, then sooner is definitely going to be better than later, because obviously as interest rates go up, buyers aren't going to be able to afford to purchase as expensive of a home. So that means that your values eventually are going to have to come down as buyers' interest rates go up. Okay, so that's one thing to keep in mind. The other one is, what if their rates are going down? Well, some sellers would say, well, I'm going to sit tight and just see what happens. Well, you got to remember, what goes up goes down, and what goes down comes back up. And so you sitting there waiting for the best interest rate, thinking you're going to get the highest price. You got to realize that there's a lag on the market, and so interest rates are going to swing the other direction, and you're going to get hit on that price. So it can be beneficial, but you could also lose bigger in the long run with interest rates that would swing the other direction. So something to keep in mind. The other thing is, are we in a buyer's market or a seller's market? That's a question that I'll answer for you when we actually meet for a consult, because of course you might be watching this a completely different market than when I'm recording the video now. So let's just understand what a buyer's and seller's market means. It sounds self-explanatory, but basically we look at month's supply of inventory on the market. So I'm not going to go into too much detail, but it basically means if nothing new came into the market, no new listings, no new buyers, how long would it take for everything to sell off? It's basically telling us the speed at which things are selling off. So 5 to 6 months is generally considered a balanced market. If we are over that, it's generally a buyer's market, because there's way more listings for buyers to choose from, and there's not much competition from fellow buyers, so they can take their time, they can offer less money, they can negotiate the price down, and so forth. In a buyer's market, they'll feel like they're getting a better deal, and they're able to spend a little more time looking. On the other side, on a seller's market, it's exactly the opposite. Buyers have a lot of competition with other buyers. There's not many homes for sale, so they have to move very quickly, and they have to offer top dollar. So obviously, as a seller, you're hoping for a seller's market because you're going to get top dollar and you're going to sell the thing right off the bat. Does that mean you can go easy on the staging and the marketing? Absolutely not, because perceived value is always going to be higher regardless of the market. So make sure you're staging your home very well. Does it mean that you can overprice your home? No, it still doesn't mean that. And just because you're in a seller's market doesn't mean that prices are going to be considerably different necessarily than with a buyer's market. It's just a different feel, different negotiations from the market, and usually the speed is a little more quick with a seller's market. So people always ask, well, should I just sit and wait for a different market? Again, we need to talk in person so that I can actually see your situation, decide what's best for you. But I will say this, don't forget, just because you're selling in a seller's market, your next home you would be buying in a seller's market, or the opposite would be true. Just because you're selling in a buyer's market, then you'd be buying a buyer's market. So there's really pros and the cons on the flip side of it, and it doesn't necessarily make sense to just sit tight and hope that the weather clears up next week when you really have no idea if it's going to get better or worse in the near future. So typically waiting isn't a real great strategy. Of course, with inflation and everything, home prices rise as a trend line, of course. So in the long run, waiting, you'll still be paying more for that home anyhow, so it might not be the best strategy. But let's meet in person. I'd love to help you understand what your home is worth and get your questions answered. I've also got a lot more videos like this for buying and selling both on my website. Just visit jcarmack.com. Let's get in touch today.